You know what it is, black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy.
You know who it is, black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy.
Odie, Mari, Sodi, Maurice.
Mari Sodi, Mari Sodi.
Black and snerdy, black and snerdy.
Black and snerdy, black and snerdy.
Hey, oh.
Yes, Mo?
Are you ready?
Let's go!
Black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy. It's the Black and Snerdy podcast with Odie and Maurice.
Welcome to another episode of the Black and Snerdy podcast, the only podcast where two snerdy motherfuckers come together to do some stuff. You know, that's just what we do. We do some stuff, we talk about some stuff, we talk about ourselves. We're almost vain in that way. We're just a bunch of vain people. But no, we're just here hanging out, and we're happy that you're hanging out with us too. I, of course, am Maurice. I am Maurice, aka Kid Licorish,
and I'm Odie.
And you need to get your microphone.
And I'm Odie.
Oh my God, that was terrible. Okay, all right.
All right, get out of here.
Yeah.
I've got it.
That's okay. So, all right. How about we do this?
Well, you're attacking me.
I'm not attacking you. I'm adjusting you. Let me upgrade you, as the lovely queen has said once before. How was your week?
Overall, I would say not bad.
Okay.
Not too bad. Very busy with work, which is another thing I will get to towards later in the episode. But yeah, I've been pretty busy.
Mm-hmm.
Work has been. I'm gonna put this over more.
Yeah, slide that over. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, work's been pretty busy. Just trying to get my life together and keep my ducks in a row. When some of them are like pigeons. What about you?
Literally, copy and paste. It's the same. It's been the same. Oh my God, this is getting on my nerves. It's been the same for the last few months of just, I wake up, I do my thing. Oh my God,
It's all right. It's fine.
It's really not. It
is okay.
It feels like it's progressively getting worse. Need to fucking figure out how to fix that. Yeah, everything is
awesome. Everything is cool when you're fucking around. Everything is awesome.
And I feel like a clown. It feels like it's my microphone.
It might be. It's your fault this time.
Hello?
Yes.
Jesus. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna have to power through. But it's fine. My week is fine. I can't really complain I can always complain. There's always new reasons to complain. But yeah, so how about we just dive right into the questions?
Questions. Q&A with M&O. Here you go. There's your question and here's mine.
All right. What do you like most about your favorite season?
Well, what's your favorite season?
First off, my favorite season is spring. I would say it's not too hot, not too cold. The weather's just right. It's on the warmer side. I'm a more warmer kind of gal, and I like the warmth. Like that way you're not sweltering in the heat, but you could theoretically go out in a nice pair of chinos or some shit. And I just, you can occasionally, I know how this is going to sound coming from me, but you have the option. You have the option of being outside at like a restaurant, sitting outside and not having to need too much adjustment, like have a fucking sterno fire like it was in the winter during the pandemic. Yeah. So how about you? What's your favorite parts of the season?
My favorite season would be summer. Now, I am like a spring-summer baby because of my birthday. Push over a little more. No one can see your face.
Yeah, I really do think if the microphones are too close, then
maybe
it's gonna
push
give
the
a
microphone over here, and then you can come forward. Troubleshooting. My favorite would be summer. I'm a spring summer baby. My birthday is June 14th, which is a week before the official start of summer. Thank you. And so every year for my birthday, it's either been kind of warm, maybe a little chilly because it's rainy, or it's been like really hot. And so to me, like, have the most ideal birthday would be that I could go to the beach, I can go outside, or go to like an amusement park or something that's like summery, or have like a barbecue. And in order to do that, it needs to be warm. Now, I don't want it to be blazing. I'm not trying to have like Arizona, Houston type temperatures. I'm talking about like a lovely 80 to 85 degrees, sunny, no overcast, a breeze is coming through, and so you could be warm without being sweaty, because I hate being sweaty. It makes me feel gross. But in the summertime, you can go outside and do things. You don't really have to think about what you're wearing. Like, you go out and you're saying, like, I'm going to put on jeans, a shirt, and some flip-flops or sandals or whatever. And you don't have to really think about it. Like, maybe if it's still early in the summer, you might say, oh, do I want to bring a little cardigan? But it doesn't really matter if you bring it. You'll have it just in case, but you're not going to be, like, forced to wear it. Versus in the winter, or, like, once it gets fall, like, now as we're getting deeper into September and it's getting chillier and chillier, I feel like I never feel properly prepared for the outside, because it'll be chilly and then it'll be hot. And like, those could be in the same few hours. So you're bringing a hoodie, you're wearing the hoodie outside because you were chilly, and then the midday, you're sweating, and then you're cold again. It's too much. And I feel like this is why people always get colds. You have your fall colds and you have your spring colds, because both of those times when the temperatures are going like this. But in summer, it's usually just like even, balanced temperature. I would say the same for winter, but who the fuck wants to be cold? So it's like either you're going to be warm all the time or you're going to be cold all the time. I would just like to choose that. I don't like to have the in between.
All right, that's fair.
My question: if you could repeat any year of your life, which would you choose?
It might be my 30th year. No, my 21st year. I was still at Howard. I look back fondly on that year. I was, like I had my close circle of friends. I had a number of amazing escapades that year that I often look fondly back on, with a, sort of look in my eye, like like a little something, just it was a really good year. Plus it was the year I got my tattoo. That was the 21 was the year. That was the year before I moved to New York.
Yeah.
I was at the sort of height of my stand-up career in DC. Made a lot of great friends, was a part of a lot of interesting circles. And life was just simpler back then. I didn't have but so many complaints. I didn't have but so many responsibilities.
Yeah. Well, when you have no responsibilities, that helps.
Things were streamlined back then. How about you?
I would pick my I would say my freshman year in college at Howard. One, because I had escaped a situation that was very stressful and traumatic and scary, I think, looking back on it.
Sure.
And I was finally feeling like free and safe, and like getting to Howard and just having that experience with all of these like smart, awesome Black people from around the world, coming from the kind of educational landscape where I was coming from, was very, like, it was like earth shattering. It was amazing. being aware that Black people are smart and talented and could do whatever we want is one thing, but like being there, like people telling you that and you getting to see little glimpses of it, like that's awesome. But actually being on a campus and seeing it and knowing like you're looking around and some people in our freshman year class, like there was the one guy whose dad, I think him and his brother were there, and his dad was the prime minister of like the Bahamas. There were people who like were there. Yeah, I will describe him for you when we get off camera. But you would probably have definitely seen him because he was always with like Jay, at least freshman year.
Jay Murph?
Mm-hmm. Meeting people like Jay Murph, who have from the moment you met them, were always just, you knew they were going to be like a star. Meeting people like who this was their first time ever being on a college campus because their parents didn't go, but like seeing the fire and hunger that they had, and just like their cultural and their commitment to their community. And all our professors, I mean, it was, I feel like, a magical time. And if I could go back, I would go back and go to therapy and get like diagnosed with ADHD so that I could spend perhaps I would have still spent 5 years, who knows? But I would have spent that time in college, getting the resources and the help and the support I needed to be able to thrive in my major, at school, like in life, etc. And I would have been able to start earlier doing that. And having less like stress and anxiety about what I needed to, thrive at Howard. And I probably would feel a lot less guilt and shame about not, graduating magna cum laude, or with honors in general. So I think that would have, if I had gotten diagnosed earlier, that would have definitely shaped the trajectory of my college experience, even though it was overall amazing. And I'm grateful that I was able to figure out, by the time that I was able to figure out like a rhythm and a cadence and a routine that worked for me, by the time I got to like junior year. But I still think that would have been definitely helpful. Mm-hmm. But overall, I think I would love to go through Howard again, even though there were definitely things that happened there that were scary and traumatic as well. But I think I would not change any of the things that happened, or any of the people that I met and the experiences, because I definitely feel like they have helped shape who I am and what I do now. Okay. Right. So that's our last question, right?
Yeah, that was our last question.
Okay.
Now we can slide. Ugh, God damn it. One of these days I'm going to figure this out. We can slide right into our next segment, which is pop culture.
You're listening.
No. This must be. All right. And let us dive right into the pop culture segment.
All right. So, you have heard of the Steve Harvey morning show.
Yes, I have.
All right. So, I have heard of that. Most of our moms have listened to it at some point while they're driving us to work or school or whatever. Shirley Strawberry is one of the hosts who's been on this show for the past 20 years. So most people know her. She has her Strawberry Letters where people write in and they talk about shenanigans and things that are going on in their life. She was, unfortunately, Twitter's main character last week, and the main character of her Strawberry Letters, because she inadvertently was talking shit. Well, she wasn't inadvertently talking shit, but some shit she was talking about Steve Harvey inadvertently went public. Her estranged husband is in prison. They married, I want to say it was they've been married maybe 8 years. But in 2022, he was arrested on multiple charges, including fraud and child pornography. So they've been married at this point 8 years, and at first she was sticking by her man. She said, "I'm gonna stick beside him. That's my husband."
I feel like there are certain crimes
There are.
that you should stick by your partner. Child pornography is not one of them.
Because I was just talking to Lauren about this, because we were talking about Ashton Kutcher writing that letter for Mila Kunis, and Mila Kunis writing those letters for Danny Matheson. And it's like, if I found out someone I love did something terrible, if I find out they've been accused of something, will I believe that? No. But if you have proof that the person did the thing, that's a different story. Like saying someone could make an allegation and they may not have proof, so you could say, "Oh well, that could be something that the person could be lying because I've never experienced that person in that way." But if you have actual child pornography on your computer, like, are you a victim of some conspiracy theory and someone hacked into your computer and started putting child porn on there? Doesn't seem likely when you are not you're not some tech guru or something that would be getting charged. Her husband's name is Ernest Williams, but he goes by Ernesto, which is weird because I've never heard someone who add a letter to their name for their nickname. But Ernesto was charged, and she last year at some point they were still on good terms. And I think when he got arrested initially, he didn't have as many charges, but things have been building up. And so they were still talking, and in true partner fashion, she was sharing and talking to him about the shenanigans going on with her and her friends. And one of those friends is who? Steve Harvey. And she was saying, now, the stuff that she was saying was not, to me, the worst thing in the world. But it would be embarrassing and kind of like a punch in the gut if you heard your best friend of 20 years and coworker who's family talking about
talking shit about you, basically. Yeah, just talking shit about
saying he was getting winded walking up the steps, talking about his wife Marjorie, saying she treats people like the help and nobody wants to be around her.
Yeah, look, normal people, we all can do the dozens on our friends within other circles. You know what I mean? I love all of my friends and stuff. I also know all of their, flaws and shits and, the things that are going on in their lives that, if I'm talking about it with somebody else, I'm like, girl, did you hear about this? Or, you know what I mean? Just man, that motherfucker got some, he's dealing with his own BS, and then there's the BS that it is and stuff like that. But when you get that leaked out to the person that is the subject of the conversation, it is an embarrassing experience. Well,
I am definitely of the belief that if you are don't say anything about someone that you wouldn't say to their face.
Yeah. I would make fun of all these things to my friends' faces.
And now I do feel when you're talking to your partner, if someone's talking to their spouse, there's definitely a wall that comes down where you're gonna be a lot more honest than if you were just talking to a regular friend and gossiping about whatever about your mutual friend. But if something happened, I took what she was saying, it seemed as if something probably happened and she was upset about it. So now she is just venting to her husband. But obviously someone caught wind. When you call a prison, they tell you that it's being recorded.
Yes, they do.
Now, I'm curious why someone chose to leak her messages, was just because she was talking about Steve Harvey, probably. But I didn't even realize they were listening to the messages that hard.
I mean, they have to record the messages, and especially in jail, you have to listen to those messages in case like they're planning something or if they're speaking in code to decipher some sort of hit or drugs.
But I guess like to me,
and they have to do that with literally every single prisoner.
I didn't think that I guess I wouldn't if I was in her situation and you're just talking and you're like, yeah, you know, they're recording it, but she probably just didn't realize how stringent or how like interested folks might be. But they honestly, I think that she and Steve handled it like grown-ups. Like Steve did say, because he's also going through some issues in the media where there are some rumors circulating that he and his wife are going through like issues and maybe getting a divorce or
Which
separated.
Wife?
His current one, Marjorie. You know, he's had multiple.
Yes.
He thinks like a man. And
yes. That was my joke.
So,
anyhow, but yes.
They talked about it on their show. Yes. And Shirley apologized. She said, Steve, I'm going to start by saying that my estranged husband is in jail. He's been in jail for over a year, right after the 4th of July of 2022. And recently, some phone calls between he and I were leaked last year. On those calls, you hear me saying that you were winded going up the stairs at your home and that Margie looks at us as the help. Right here now, I want to apologize to you and Margie. As much as I wish I could, I can't take it back. And I think that Steve responded pretty like gracefully. He said that the timing of it was ugly because of everything else that's going on right now, and it made it look like Shirley was piling on, and that wasn't her intent. But it happened. Like I say, I understand. Now, I think this is how a conversation goes. If you're someone you love harms you, whether intentionally or not, they apologize. You can agree to move on and move forward. Or you can agree that then you just say I can't move past this and end or change the relationship or whatever that way. But I think that honestly,
she owned up to her mistake.
She owned up to it.
Steve accepted gracefully.
And this is not something that was like I would have been upset, of course, hearing that because nobody wants to hear someone talking bad about them. Mm-hmm. But it would have also been like, this wasn't on purpose, and you were talking to your husband. It was different than you were just talking to, like... I
mean, it was on purpose. Like, the conversation... She had a conversation.
No, the conversation was on purpose, but she didn't mean for it to come out during a time when shit's already weird for him. Yeah. It was like... She wasn't having a private conversation, but I could understand how people get lax with these type of things because you think there's so many people talking, they're probably not going to pay attention to me. Like, what has my husband got going on that it would be so interesting to talk to him about XYZ? But it's just one of those things you always gotta, just be on your P's and Q's and not allow for shenanigans.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to talk about some weird book ban shit, or do you want to talk about some divorces first?
Let's get like the divorces out of the way.
All right. Divorces.
I don't remember the book ban being on the list.
So it was like Divorce Girl Summer, and I think it's going into Divorce
Girl said.
It's going into Divorce Girl Fall. Hugh Jackman and his wife announced their split after 27 years, 3 decades together.
That's all the X-Men movies. Like, she's a real one. She's a real one for being with him for as long as she did.
Yeah.
And him being with her.
I mean, I think it's sad when couples divorce after that long of a time because I've never heard them say anything outside that wasn't just like loving. And his wife, I don't remember what she does, but she's not like a celebrity. But he's always been very vehement that how much he loves her, how beautiful she is, even when she'd be getting compared to, these other actresses and et cetera, et cetera. So, I wish them the best. 27 years is a long time. And I'm always curious, like, what happened? Was it just, were you not listening to each other? Did you try going to therapy?
It might be that they just ran their course,
Yeah.
Like, sometimes, like, we imagine marriages as, like, the end-all, be-all, right? But, like, if you just imagine them as just an extension of an already existing relationship, like, a lot of relationships, like, can be forever, but a lot of relationships can end as well.
Yeah.
So it could just be that it ran its course, like it that's just what it is sometimes.
Well, another relationship that has run its course, Jeezy, Was he the snowman?
Yes.
Was he the snowman, or was that no? Was this no? Ice Cream Man is
no, you're thinking of Ice Cream Man. That's Gucci.
That's Gucci.
Gucci is Ice Cream
but
Man.
I think Jeezy might have been the snowman.
I think Jeezy is Snowman.
What did I say? Did I say Gucci?
Jeezy is Snowman.
Jeezy is a snowman. Well, Jeezy and the real host Jenna May Jenkins have filed for divorce. Well, Jeezy filed for divorce after 2 years of marriage, and they just had a baby. They welcomed their daughter in January 2022.
And this one hurts because he was in interviews initially just talking about how she's changed his life, like he's eating vegetables and shit. Like I just remember listening to an interview where he was just like, yeah, like I'm a fucking vegan now or some shit.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, if you look at marriages as just an extension of an already existing relationship, these things end, like sometimes they run their course.
Yeah, but sometimes I
get in, get out, you get the money.
The running of its course couldn't be due to factors that folks were not paying attention to and not trying to work on, or just like meh. And not to say that doesn't happen, but I think if you
there's any number of factors that could.
Again, that's why I'm always curious. Like, what happened? What was it that happened that you couldn't? If you have a child with someone, if you are together with someone for decades, what happened that you went from being friends and lovers and partners with this person that now you're just like, you know what? Nah, I don't want to do it anymore. It's just, I'm always curious.
You know what? I'm the opposite. I'm never curious because I completely understand the idea of you have somebody in your life and then you don't have somebody in your life. Like, sometimes people have reasons and seasons. People cycle through their lives and they're important for a very specific time in your life, and then at some point they fulfill their purpose, you fulfill your purpose in their lives, and y'all go your separate ways. I apply this to all relationships. I know that when it comes, it's trickier when it's marriage involved. When marriage is, you sign papers, you get up in front of all your family, you dance to the cha-cha slide in front of your dad and sing Dance with My Father again for the last time, in front of God and everybody. You get up and you're sitting on a chair and they're, all circling around you doing the Torah. But
Torah.
The horror?
You said the Torah.
Look,
move on.
Moving on. These are just things that I think can run their course sometimes. Because when I was younger, I used to think that all divorces were sad, but as I got older,
I don't think all divorces are sad.
My perspective changed a little bit, and it was just I started applying the same logic that I apply to reasons and seasons. Is what I like to say. Reasons and seasons. That might be the episode's title. One
divorce that I am sad about that just was announced, or at least a separation. So who knows? Maybe they'll get back together. But Tiana Taylor and Iman Shumpert are separated. They've been separated now for 9 months. She posted a picture on her Instagram and said, not too much on my bestie. In all fairness, Iman and I are separated and have been for a while. To be 1000% clear, infidelity ain't one of the reasons for our departure. We are still the best of friends, great business partners, and are one hell of a team when it comes to co-parenting our two beautiful children. Most importantly, we are a family and in 10 years together. 7 years married, we ain't ever played with or about that. We just keep y'all asses out the group chat, LOL, which is the reason we've been able to successfully and peacefully separate without all the outside noise. The only reason I'm even sharing this part of the chat is because the narratives are getting a little out of hand and it's unfair to all parties involved. I hope this provided some clarity for y'all. Okay, Ante, taking y'all back out the chat. Bye. Now, last week, I think, I saw a post on Twitter where someone was alleging that Iman Shumpert was on the DL and he was fucking some dudes at I forget where. And so people were like, what's going on with him and Tiana? And I think that's probably what she's talking about in regards to infidelity. Because
you can't be, infidel if y'all ain't fidel. Like if y'all ain't together, then,
yeah, And either way, I hope if he is a part of the family, that he's able to live his life out and proud, and not stressing about what anyone else thinks, because obviously he has a beautiful family.
Or however he wants,
whatever he wants to do.
Whatever
either of them want to do.
If you are a public figure, you have the right to control your own narrative.
Yes,
and so if you want to be fucking dudes,
do it.
Great, but as long as you're comfortable with how you're doing it,
healthy, consensual, everyone's of age, then it doesn't matter. Yeah. Let these folks live and do whatever they want to do. And I think that just similar to what's his name, who's the ex-mayor, de Blasio and his wife. They put out that post about them separating, but they're still going to be living together. I really felt like they just did that because they were going to be on dates and they had an open marriage or something.
Yeah, they're going to be around New York and they don't want the paparazzi to be. First off, that's a sick paparazzi to be tracking de Blasio's wife trying to fuck some dude.
They always care. They always can't wait to get a gotcha.
Yeah.
Especially on them, interracial couple. Ugh. She is bisexual. They've always been trying to get them about that. And I'm sure a far-right MAGA person would be foaming at the mouth. Not even a far-right. Adams.
I hate politics.
Would be foaming at the mouth
really
to put out some pictures of his wife on a date with someone else.
Just been idiocratized.
It has. It's the worst. All right. So speaking of idiocracy, this last week, the Illinois Secretary of State, Alexi Giannoulis, I don't think I pronounced that right. He testified alongside witnesses in the federal Senate judiciary hearing over banned books, which was a decision that came in June. So they, for whatever reason, Senator John Kennedy decided from Louisiana, Republican senator, he decided to read passages from the book All Boys Aren't Blue and Genderqueer, which have some very detailed descriptions. Press play, my friend.
Just for the record, and pardon me for my ignorance, he's not a Kennedy, right? He's just...
I do not know.
His last name is just Kennedy. He's not a part of the JFK line.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not sure, but what's his name? Robert F.
When
Kennedy's...
I was younger, I used to think that everybody with the same last name were related.
I used to as well.
So, that's just...
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if he was related to John F.
Annie
Kennedy.
Murphy in my class. I was like, how are you related to Eddie Murphy? You're white.
But
but yeah, while you figure that out, I'll play the clip.
Some lube on and got him on his knees. And I began to slide into him from behind. I pulled out of him and kissed him while he masturbated. He asked me to turn over while he slipped a condom on himself. This was my ass, and I was struggling to imagine someone inside me. He got on top and slowly inserted himself into me. It was the worst pain I think I have ever felt in my life. Eventually, I felt a mix of pleasure with the pain. I got a new strap-on harness today. I can't wait to put it on you. It will fit my favorite dildo perfectly. You're going to look so hot. I can't wait to have your cock in my mouth. I'm going to give you the blowjob of your life. Then I want you inside of me.
All right.
So, I've never been, like, anti-erect, but now I have. Like, that is literally the, I am, I am fucking quilted bounty right now. Like, I'm ultra soft. Like, that was
the Sahara Desert.
That literally just, like, I'm inside myself right now.
And it's not the book. It's not the book's description. It's him.
This is the worst ASMR I've ever heard.
And I honestly, like, when you watch the video, you see the people, like, who are sitting on the panel, like,
are reacting to
are
it.
just cringing. And Gian Nuales, she said, all due respect, Senator, and all due respect, Senator, and the words you spoke are disturbing. Especially coming out of your mouth is very disturbing. Because they were slamming him for targeting LGBTQ books. And not making exceptions for other books like To Kill a Mockingbird that discuss like other sexual things. It just, hearing this old white man,
and he's wispy white,
read these descriptions was just very traumatizing and horrible and graphic and gross. And I never want that to happen again. I honestly...
He's no LeVar Burton.
He's no LeVar Burton. I feel like this is like a kink he has.
I never want to hear him read a story.
I think that he purposely did this because he wanted to get off. Like, I feel like that was...
Get off?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what it was.
Wow.
He wanted to get off. He likes people listening to him talk about sexually explicit things.
Well, he is a white man with power, so they all like to get off that way. But yeah, that's what that is. So I'm just sitting here with the, whatever the opposite of an erection is, like an outerection.
It was an outerection. So next we have some scabbers who have been bullied into submission. And this person is honestly very surprising. Drew Barrymore was trying to scab her way in these streets, and folks called her out.
Yeah.
So
she got, you could say that she, under the pile of bullshit that came her way after she did this little stunt, she got buried more.
Yes, so she had posted that they were continuing her show amidst the WGA and the SAG strikes. And she had tried to say that this was like helping people with work, and this is a tough time, similar to like the pandemic, where, we're just trying to help and being the voice, and people need to hear what's going on. But Drew Barrymore's show, I think it's a cute show. It's fun. She sings sometimes.
It's not
news. Like, Good Morning America is news. Mm-hmm. And they're not under strike. The reporters are not under strike. They are having a new contract going up next year. So who knows if they could be on strike. But they're journalists, so they're there telling the news, and they're journalists are writing their journalist scripts. If you are a journalist working on a show, you know how to write a script. You don't have to have 10,000 other people writing it for you. Versus Drew Barrymore's show, where every word she says is written by somebody else because she doesn't know anything about what's going on in the world.
I want all entertainers to be on strike at the same time.
Yes.
Like, for all mediums.
I think
we need
a general strike.
We need a 2-year strike where we don't get any new entertainment. I'm starting to think that we have reached our allotment on content.
Listen,
I think, and I know this is
you wouldn't be able
ironic
to watch
because we're here creating content, but I think we've reached a limit. We've heard everything that we're gonna hear.
You wouldn't be
and
able.
We've seen everything that we're gonna see. We don't need any more Aquamans. I just saw the most recent Aquaman commercial trailer. That looks terrible. I just think we need a moratorium on new content.
We wouldn't be able to get through even one network's content for the last, even if you said from the last 10 years. If you said, I'm going to just watch all that content,
yes,
you would not finish it.
I'm going to watch everything that CBS has.
You
created.
wouldn't. It's too
Walker,
much.
Texas Ranger, Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman.
Like, it's too much. It's too
How I
much
Met Your
content.
Mother,
We have
Jag.
so much on there that, like, we don't need a bunch of new things. And especially, like, when is the time you're going to watch it? Because people are being forced to work 10,000 jobs for 10,000 hours. So I think it's like the studios, and I was watching a video from one of the strikers, and they were talking about how the studios are losing so much money. And it's not that all of the studios are still trying to be playing hardball. It's like one main, and I want to say, I don't know if it's WB, but like one of the main guys running it is just holding off, and the studios are losing like billions of dollars, millions of dollars, way more. I think the actors and the writers, I think the total of what they were asking was maybe like, careful, arms up,
47 million or something.
47
like
million, or maybe even billion. Maybe it could have been billion. I don't know. It was like a
they
47.
were asking for like 47 million, but they're losing 430 million.
Thank you. So like, all that money you've been losing, you could have been paid people. You could have paid everyone that with all the money, and it would have been no issue. So at this point, like, I don't honestly think these studios necessarily care how much money they're losing, because at the end of the day, they know once we get started up again, they're going to get all of that money back. And it's going to be the actors and writers and makeup artists and food services that are really the ones who are missing out. But it's just like, this is the shitty late stage capitalism and robber baron behavior that just grinds my gears. And I can't wait for folks to, like, and unfortunately, like Drew Barrymore, to get their just desserts. And I was disappointed by this, because I really enjoyed Drew Barrymore. We've watched, like, if you're a millennial, you probably watched her from when she was a kid to now. You knew all the struggles she went through.
Saw her from E.T. to Charlie's Angels.
Like, and you know that she's really, like, she's always seemed to be...
She seems likable.
Yeah, and I've always read, like, anytime people are like, I met this celebrity and they were this or that, like, that no one's ever had anything weird to say about her. But this is like...
Was it her that was dating Tom Green at one point?
Yeah, I think they might have gotten married.
Yeah. And even then, like, it was just, like, fine, you know? Like, there wasn't any issues or anything.
We didn't hear anything outside of, like...
strange.
It was, like, strange. They were cute. She's a hippie. He's a comedian, whatever. No big deal. And she's been very likable, but this was not likable. And after she posted up that she was going to be restarting the show, she got flamed online, of course. Even Rosie O'Donnell added her, like, you need to get your shit together, on a post. And then she put out this crying, unfortunately, this white woman tears post. And then I think it was today or yesterday, she put up a post on her Instagram that said, I have listened to everyone, and I'm making the decision to pause the show's premiere until the strike is over. I have no words to express my deepest apologies to anyone I have hurt, and of course, to our incredible team who works on the show and has made it what it is today. We really tried to find our way forward, and I truly hope for resolution for the entire industry very soon. That's all you need to say from the beginning. There's no, like... If there are actors who can't even post up their show or what they're working on, there are new shows that are out right now that nobody is talking about. Like, they can't even promote it.
We just found out that City Girls, not City Girls, the Miami show, the Miami rapper.
Yeah, from Issa Rae.
Issa Rae.
Hold on.
Hot Girls.
Hot Girls?
No, it's... Oh my God, it's right there on the tip of my tongue.
Let me...
Hot Girls.
Why is it... Rap Shit,
there we go, yeah. Rap Shit's coming out in a couple weeks.
And who would have known?
And it's, no one's promoting it. Honestly, okay, so one of the upsides of the protests / picketing and all this is that I do not have to hear celebrities promoting their shit. Like,
Yeah.
I like some as if you are like me, who is like grew up with like late night and the Conans, everything like that, you've come to realize that it's very formulaic. And it's only certain entertainers, and I lean more towards like comedians who like bring something fresh to like the formula. But otherwise, if it's just like a fucking actor who's just like, I'm gonna tell a charming story about doing a prank on set.
Yeah.
By the way, Aquaman's coming November 3rd on WB. Like, sorry, and that's nothing against Jason Momoa, but
Of course not.
just saying, it has been a beautiful reprieve not having to hear these motherfuckers promote the Barbie movie. You know? I want to be able to judge the movie on its own merits, and by all means, it seemed like the Barbie movie was great. But yeah, I could do without Margot Robbie coming in and was it Margot Robbie? Yeah, Margot Robbie coming in and telling us how Ryan Gosling's butt cheeks looked. Anyway,
Well, someone else who will not be returning to television, as we've mentioned, is Erica Mena, because she got cut from a bunch of stuff that she was working on. The few things that she was actually getting paid to do, due to her calling Spice a monkey. But she recently apologized. She said, "I deeply regret my insensitive comment. I want to humbly apologize to anybody I hurt or offended by my thoughtlessness. You weren't worried about being hungry when you were going ooh ah at her, so you can't possibly." I don't believe it. I don't believe it, and I don't agree. She said, "My choice of words was wrong, and I take my choice of words and noises. My choice of words were wrong, and I take full responsibility for what I said. I am committed to listening to the voices of those affected and those who work toward making amends. As a woman of color and a mother of 2 black children, I want to make it clear that that my use of that word was not in any way racially driven. That said, I do understand the gravity of what I said, and I want to use my platform to promote inclusivity and equality." Now, this is the thing that always pisses me off. First of all, you are an Afro-Dominican woman. Whether you want to call yourself black or Afro, Latinx, or whatever, either way, you have the African drums of the motherland still running up and down your bloodline, and you being colorist is definitely a form of internalized white supremacy that is not your fault. There are plenty of Dominicans who are darker than me who walk around saying, "I know black, I Dominican." Sure. But that doesn't stop you from having to deal with the consequences of your actions. And I hope you never get put on another damn show unless it's about you going through racial rehab where you're learning about why this internalized anti-blackness and internalized white supremacy is wrong, and you have to figure out how to make amends. Now, if
don't give them ideas for new reality
I know that's going to be the next one because they can't do anything else.
Reality show just waiting to happen.
It is
Racial Rehab, where we take.
They're gonna have the Hulk.
5
Not the Hulk.
Yeah,
what's his name? Hulk Hogan.
yeah, Hulk Hogan. Vince McMahon.
Rosie
probably.
O'Donnell.
Was it Rose? You mean Roseanne?
Oh yes, Roseanne.
Yeah, Rosie O'Donnell is the good one.
Yeah, she's
Roseanne is the bad one.
It's just that I wish people would say, you know what? In my ignorance, from what I have been raised to believe, when you are upset with someone who's darker than you, you go for what you believe is going to be the worst possible thing, and you're going to call them that. Now, she can't call her a nigger because she's a nigger too, so what is really going to go? That's not going to do anything. But she can call her a black-ass monkey because she's lighter, and she knows that her lightness, like, she's not that cute, especially after she did all this plastic surgery, but she knows that her lightness is going to get her much farther than Spice, her being light-skinned, her being thin, her being exotic with long, straight hair, is going to get her places that it would get Spice, even though Spice is more talented than her and more attractive than her. So she went to her arsenal and picked out what she thought would work. And it has bit her in the ass, and I hope she never works again. And I hope Safari gets she has Safari to take care of this child. Hopefully, he gets custody and takes care of them. So they're not...
It took all this for Safari to look like the better parent.
Right? If you're the one to make Safari look good, that's
telling a lot. And I remember his fucking
dildo.
No, I was gonna say I remember his rap song in response to that Bronx shit that happened when they were throwing chicken bones at him.
Yeah.
For his concert.
It was terrible. Didn't nobody shoot? I feel like it was empty. It was empty.
I'm gonna find that song.
It was terrible. Find it and play it.
I want to play it.
All right. Let's see. Any other? Okay. I do have.
We're gonna have to. We got. Yeah. That's
okay.
where we are.
So I have some more mess. Mm-hmm. Let's start it off with Jonathan Majors. As you know, I think today's the 17th. So, on the 15th, Jonathan Majors went into court. I have not seen any updates about that. But mainly, it's about Jonathan Majors turning into Captain Planet or Black Panther for real or whatever. And allegedly coming across these high schoolers in their high school, not parking lot, but it was in California. The schools there are quite large. So it looked like a tunnel where the kids drive in to go to the parking lot. They're there and they're fighting. And he just pops up out of nowhere with his fucking newsy cap. And he's like, no, this isn't the way. First of all, let me paint you the picture of the students around. One, if you're at a high school and there was a fight, everybody would have their phones out. Everybody would be streaming live on TikTok, Snapchat, wherever the kids are, that's where they would be live. None of that happened. I saw at least one child holding a laptop like this, recording the video. Because children do that all the time. Mm-hmm. The person who actually filmed it looked like they were filming it on the oldest, it was filmed on the oldest camera phone known to man, because it was so grainy. Grainy and dark.
It reminded me of my first Black Planet profile picture. That's how grainy it was.
Yeah. And he's just you see a girl get punched, mm-hmm. and then you see Jonathan Majors swoop in and save the day. But my thing is, if these girls were really fighting and were really angry, he would not have been able to hold them back.
Not to mention, there would have been a titty out. There's no way that was a real fight.
We are talking about children. Do not talk about children's titties. Unless you want someone to become the FAA to be coming on here. Is that the FAA or is that the airport?
I am more so speaking of the women fights that
you've seen.
That I have seen.
There are boobs.
I'm not saying that this is something that I want to see, nor am I saying that that's something that I would hope to see. I am speaking from experience from every girl fight that I've ever fucking seen. From the time I was a fucking kid to the time I was in college, and my shout out to Sierra and Janelle, fucking molly-whopping each other and literally just tearing each other's shirts and shit and stuff. You don't know Sierra, but I'm not even sure if you know Janelle.
I know some Janelles from Howard.
All right.
Either
way, but just
the fighting did not seem real, because when you see people, even whether it's girls or boys, whatever, it doesn't matter their age. When you see people fighting and someone tries to jump through, there are plenty of times where I saw a video at a high school with a big ass security guard was getting swung on because the other girl was trying to get to the other girl, and these were small girls, like my height. Mm-hmm. So the fact that these girls were just kind of pushing him, get out of the way. Come over here, bitch. I'm gonna fuck you up. He just paid these kids an in and out.
Yeah,
and
this was
said,
terrible
fight.
Like, this is how far Jonathan Majors has fallen.
But when I want everyone to go online and look up the school, because people have been doing stealthy work. They have found, like, where it was on the Google Maps. They have found the school. They have Google World, like, pictures. And there's no way. He said he was getting lunch, he was walking past, he stumbled across this fight. Why? I want to give me a list of restaurants in that location, because if anything about California, whether you're in LA, Oakland, or whatever, even in a big city, a lot of things are not clumped together like they are in New York. So you buying lunch, like where you got a taco truck, or like you were at a taco truck at the end of the corner and then you walked past, no, you're lying. Like, look at him. Look at how soft he's... Like, they're not even trying to push past
Jonathan
him.
Majors stopping a fight, like, is the
And not once did I
highlight of my
hear...
week.
Did anybody... No, I didn't hear one person say, is that Jonathan Majors? Like, you already know the moment they saw him...
to be fair, like, what was the last thing that the motherfucker did?
But
Apollo.
those kids would know that was Jonathan Majors, and they would have been filming it, and they would have been like... Because, first of all, he's in that fucking newsy cap all the time. Of course they would have known it was him. They need his team needs to stick with the Megan Good.
He's been out of the limelight for
a week. Like, he's not that long.
Couple months.
It's not long enough.
First off, if it was a week, that would be an eternity for this generation.
I would say that he has been out of the limelight, but he's not been out of the news, because the Shade Room has been talking about him and Megan Good since everything went down. So the kids know who he is. They would have been streaming it all on TikTok. You only got one view. And TMZ was the first person to get that video. So we already know, like, just stop the shenanigans. Please. Leave us out of it. Stop it. You're such a talented actor.
It's so terrible that kid with the laptop was just
like,
there.
What child do you know is doing that?
Did he have a laptop, but he also had a phone. Like, so he was recording it on his phone and on his laptop.
It was just, like, it just really was just bullshit. And... I'm tired of the shenanigans. You have Megan Good out here looking stupid with her taking her family to fucking Red Lobster in your fucking newsy cap.
I mean,
all the time.
You would probably like to go to Red Lobster.
I fucking love Red Lobster. They have great biscuits, but still.
There we go. See?
But still, I'm not taking. My actor Boo is taking me and my family to a lovely dinner at Red Lobster. What? Are we in high school? No. I like going to Red Lobster. I really love the biscuits. And sometimes then they have that little seafood special and you get an unlimited shrimp. I will go there. I like the coconut shrimp and I like the little butter shrimp. I do. I like it. But that is not...
Yeah, don't shit on Red
I'm not shitting on it. When he fucked me good, I take his ass to Red Lobster. Beyonce said it as well. We all love Red Lobster. But not enough to... you only go in there for fucking pictures. Because you wanted to go to Red Lobster and for everybody's black auntie to be like, oh, look, there's Creed. There's Black Panther, whatever movie he was in. Kang. There's Kang. That's the Kang. I love the Kang. They just, like... Look at him with his black woman. Look at him with that black family. You're just trying to get black aunties on your side because you know they're going there after church. They're going there for brunch. They're going there for the lobsterita for happy hours because that's where they go with their crew because they're not going to go anywhere else. Leave us alone. We have more things to talk about, but due to our technical difficulties, we're going to have to extend our next when we come back.
All
okay?
Right.
So, BRB.
We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with more of the Black and Snerdy podcast.
You're listening to the Black and Snerdy podcast.
We now return to the Black and Snerdy podcast.
Okay, so the VMAs were this weekend, or a few days ago. Did you know that the VMAs were happening?
I saw them trending, and I saw that... Okay. So, I am of the mindset, because we haven't talked about this. Mm-hmm. The Bongo song with Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B. Mm-hmm. I don't think that they should have tried to, I don't think they should have worked together again.
Why?
Or at the very least, I don't think they should have tried to. It feels like they're trying to replicate WAP.
Really, I didn't feel that.
I definitely did.
I mean, I love the song.
You talking about from the fucking music video where they're scissoring?
Well, I love
all the asses on display. I love that too. But the song itself,
I like the song.
The song is I don't think the song is as catchy as WAP was.
Well, I feel like they're trying to do a mix.
They're trying to catch lightning in a bottle.
They're trying to do like dembo, like the Brazilian hip hop music, some like Dominican hip hop music, and mix it all together. But I liked it. But I also think it's one of those songs that you need to hear while you're out, because I think sometimes when you're hearing songs at home, I don't think it's not the same energy.
Heard when it's
I think it. Oh no, people have already played. I already saw people talking about listening to the song at like parties, and I think when you hear a song at a party, it goes different than when you're listening to it at home. Even if you had listening to it with your noise canceling earphones, like you're not getting the same energy and all that. And I definitely feel like Bongos is a party song where we have to listen to it outside.
I really like Meg's verse.
Yeah, I mean, I like the song. Like, I've been hearing mixed reviews out of my friend circle. I think that online I've been seeing other things where people are really enjoying it. But I think it's one of those songs, if you've heard it and you haven't really, you heard it, you're not really feeling it, I would say wait till there's a party and then give your real review, because I think that's when some songs are better when you're hearing them outside with a bunch of people and you're getting to feel the energy. But it was interesting that they didn't premiere the song at VMAs, but that was their first performance, and it was like a week after the song came out.
Yeah.
But my thing about the VMAs is I've lived in New York all my life. Mm-hmm. The VMAs used to be such like a big deal. And I think this year they dropped the ball, because
I think they really did.
I didn't see any promotion for it.
Are the musicians on strike too? Because, well, to be fair, where are they going to promote this?
But the way they used to have what is that word?
Billboards.
Billboards. They used to have installations. They used to have like so many things. I didn't see any ads for it.
Yeah,
the only reason I knew it was happening was because people were talking about it on Twitter. It was
trending on Twitter.
And I was like, okay, because it was like people were talking about NSYNC were there, and I was like, what? Like, I need to look at it. But outside of that, like, I did not see anything, and I honestly don't feel like we missed much. Taylor Swift, of course, won a bunch of things, unfortunately. I don't think I see anything from Beyonce winning. I don't even really see her. I don't think I see Beyonce on this. They did have an Afrobeat. Oh, yeah, show of the summer. And they gave it to fucking Taylor Swift. Again, like, this is why MTV is no longer relevant.
Back ass. Okay. Can Taylor Swift... How old is Taylor Swift?
I think she's around our age. I think she's like between 33 and 30. She's like about 33. She's around our age. Because I think she's our age because she was born in 1989. That's her album. The name of her album.
I think that Taylor Swift should retire.
Yeah. Probably.
Like, she should just bow out and fuck off.
Like, she won Album of the Year over Beyonce, which is insane. And then, okay, some of these winners... I've never heard of these songs. Like, Song of the Summer, Jungkook and Lotto, 7. Never heard that song. Couldn't tell you what it is. I have not heard it.
Odie. We're old. We're
washed. Okay. First of all, you could be washed. I'm not washed.
Odie, no, you're washed.
But the thing about it is...
You're definitely washed. If I'm washed, you're washed.
No. If you're washed, you're washed.
No.
I am not washed.
Yes, you are.
Out of the two of us, you're the washed
The most
one.
recent album that you listen to is Beyonce.
Yeah, because it's a fucking amazing album.
It came out a year ago.
So, it's a fucking amazing album. I don't want to listen to anything else.
At least I've been, like, listening up on the most, like, ride.
I mean, when I take a break from Beyonce, I go on my Spotify or Apple Music and I'll listen to, like, it'll give you the playlist of whatever the day, these are the new songs, and I'll listen to them. Sometimes I like them, sometimes I don't, whatever, but I'm telling you, I haven't even heard this song on like any of the TikToks or anything, because that's where sometimes I'll hear new music. Like, I know that we're not hearing music in the same way that we used to. Like when you're in college, you're at a house party, or post-college, you're at a house party.
Why is this list so long?
That's the thing. There's too many songs. There's too many people. And when did Fall Out Boy get another video? Either way, I just feel like, of course, you know, Taylor Swift performed, Diddy performed with his son, and he was rapping Mace's verses. Shakira got a Video Vanguard Award. She performed. I watched the performance. It was very good. Global Icon Award was Diddy. That was his performance. It was okay. You know, it was Diddy.
50-year-old Diddy. 50
Okay.
Diddy.
Also, speaking of Diddy, he has a new album coming out.
Yes, he does.
And I just found out that on the album, there's a lot of people who are listed as that he's working with them on the album.
Yeah.
But I just found out recently from some internet sleuths and music reporters that these are not new collaborations. A lot of these are old songs. Like, you know how similar to Beyonce, she'll have album and she might use something, a snippet, and she'll credit that person.
The Love album, Off the Grid.
And so, yes. And so a lot of people didn't even know they were on it. And he just used their own vocals, which is a very Diddy thing to do. Like, I'm not going to use things new and give people a heads up, because I haven't even heard those people who are on the album promoting it. But I think the VMAs also came with a bunch of controversy because, one, I don't know if you know Victoria Monet. She has that song, On My Mama, that's new. On my mama, on my hood, I look fly, I look too good. It's a good song. And that is a new one, and I really like it. I really like Victoria Monet.
Yes,
great artist.
I'm well aware that you have come across TikToks with that song playing in the background.
I watched that because I heard it came out, because I follow her, and I heard it came out, and I watched the video first. And now it's also been in a lot of TikToks and Instagram Reels. But they told her allegedly, which is she's saying, it's her camp saying this, that because people were like, why wasn't she performing? And they said that MTV told her she's like too new to perform, which is insane to me. Because like, too new to who? White people? Because black people know who Victoria Monet is, even if they don't say like. I
mean, that is what they mean when they say too new.
Because like that's
that is like MTV has always traditionally been geared towards white people, the white teens.
Yeah.
You know? Like, that's why the fucking K-pop is all over it, because, like, all of a sudden, like, the next generation has, like, eaten up all the K-pop shit.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, oh, we've had enough of hip-hop. We're gonna... if we're gonna culturally appropriate, we're gonna culturally appropriate something else.
2 K-pop artists.
That's my theory. My theory is that
because they can't have multiple melanated folks on a stage at a time. They already have Afrobeats category.
They've oversaturated the market with black, with like cultural appropriation of black culture. So now, and also we're calling them on it. So now they're just basically doing another culture.
Well, that was
bullshit. That's why I never liked Billie Eilish, because she culturally appropriated Jolene from JoJo's Bizarre Adventures look. Basically, she just copied.
I think she's just a child. She's a Gen Xer, Gen Zer.
It's one thing to be a JoJo's fan. It's another thing to like make your entire brand and identity that of like Jolene Cujo. Like, if you don't get the fuck out of my face.
Well, in more MTV news, which has been disbanded because they haven't been doing shit for years. But SZA is her camp is saying she was snubbed this year because
is the MTV Music Awards really a snub?
I think that if you're a musical artist who had like, SZA is still an artist relevant to folks who are like 35 and under. Even though the MTV crowd, you would say, is probably like 25 and under, she's still relevant to them because she makes music.
I also haven't seen any of her visuals for her
album. She did I think her album, and I played it for you a few times.
No, I've heard her songs.
It was good. I've seen visuals.
I did, because that's what I associate the MTV Awards with like the actual music videos, right? It's not just about the songs.
No, it's
about
both.
The music videos.
It's both. But I think that, to me, I liked the videos. I thought the album did really well. But her camp was saying that, she was missing from the Artist of the Year category, and they felt like it was a snub because it was both a critical and a commercial success. And they said, obviously, she had one of the best years, if not the best year of any artist at this point. I don't see why she wouldn't be nominated for Artist of the Year. It really didn't make any sense to me. It's disrespectful. That's what her manager, Terrence Punch Henderson, told The Hollywood Reporter. And so she decided she wasn't going to perform. Yeah. I don't know if she attended, or I don't think she attended, but she definitely didn't perform, which they missed out, because I think Sis is a good performer, and for that like demographic, it would have been a really good. It really would have been a really good performance. Now there was I'm trying to figure out which one I want to segue into. Do you want to segue from a new update with the artist in their relationship and also discussing their past allegations and then go into more allegations? Or do you want to talk about drama? You know what? We're going to do drama first.
I'm so glad I had a say in this.
Well, because I just made it, when I thought about it, it's going to flow smoother if I go from the main drama to the rest of them. One, Nelly and Ashanti are back together. Now, you might have wanted to hold those.
No matter what, I
might have wanted to hold
Ashanti,
those. But Ashanti showed up at the VMAs with looking beautiful. I didn't love her dress.
Glorious.
I didn't love her dress only because I felt like
love Ashanti.
The boob part it wasn't constructed well. But otherwise, she always looks gorgeous.
Always have a fucking comment about Ashanti.
I can't. This is a critical.
But
take.
you're always critical.
I'm not always critical. If I have something to say, I got something to say.
No, about Ashanti.
Well,
yeah, about Ashanti, Faith Evans.
I can't help what it is.
Anything that falls below Beyonce and
anyone
true. In Beyonce's
That's not
sphere.
True.
Anyone
That's
in Beyonce's
not
sphere.
True.
Okay. How do you like The Little Mermaid? The movie, not the songs. The movie.
I think that Halle Bailey did an amazing job. I love Halle.
In the movie, not the songs.
Her role in the movie was amazing. She did a great job with her role. Now, if you want to ask me about some other folks, I'll give you my honest opinion on them as well.
See, Halle Bailey is a part of Chloe and Bailey, and they're basically Beyonce's chosen predecessors and shit.
Why? Because they're fucking talented.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See.
Can't help when you see talent.
See, there we go. Yeah.
Do you want to be big upping Aquafina? No.
She's not a fucking musician.
Are you sure she was rapping?
No, that was not
rap. If
rap.
Aquafina comes out with a rap album...
That's not rap.
Oh, my God. Anyway, that's what I was talking about.
It was a little catchy. I'm not going to lie.
It was, but I wish she wasn't doing it.
Just
it was because it was little Lin-Manuel. If he didn't do it...
it was Lin-Manuel.
He can make anything sound catchy.
Carried that shit.
No,
but... I get that that's her thing. I get that that's part of her charm and shit.
Her cultural appropriation?
No, not her cultural appropriation. Her voice. She doesn't have a singing voice. She doesn't have a rapping voice.
She's a sing talker.
She's a sing talker. Yeah. She much like The Rock in Moana. Yes. It's just a lot of sing talk. It's just
All right, so anyway, back to what we were talking about.
I also wanted to throw shade on her actual raspy-ass voice.
I mean, well, she's a terrible person.
Sounds like she eats cigarettes.
Ashanti and Nelly, who have been on and off now for what it seems like 20 years, are now officially back on. And so many people are talking about, oh my God, I love this. This is great. But I wonder if people have forgotten about Nelly's sexual abuse allegations. So, like, in October 2017, he was arrested and charged with second-degree rape of a then 22-year-old college student named Monique Green, who claimed he assaulted her on his tour bus ahead of a Florida Georgia Line concert where he was set to perform. He has numerous allegations over the years, and I don't know if it's because at the time when it came out, people weren't really talking about it or didn't come to certain parts of Twitter, or maybe people's memories are just really bad. But I've just been seeing all these, like, black news organizations being like, Black love is here to stay.
But, like,
yay, Nelly and Ashanti.
Okay, so I'm not one to, jump in and protect abusers of any kind or anything like that. I will say,
however, but
no, it's not a however, but or anything like that. I am curious, like, what were the results of those cases?
Well,
because
obviously they weren't. They
didn't.
But okay, someone not going to jail for an allegation doesn't mean that they're not guilty.
I'm not saying that you're, like, not guilty if you. Well, I mean, like, okay. Here's what I am saying, right? What I am saying is that, like, if he was taken to trial and we saw the, like, outcome of said trial, that's one thing. Like, it sounds as though allegations were made, but no charges were.
He settled out of court with this latest one. So, would you like to find a way that he's not super guilty for the fact that he gave this woman money to stop talking?
I mean,
if someone settles out of court, that means that there's, like, if you have settled, that means something happened, but you don't want probably it happened, but maybe there may not be enough to charge you with to go to jail, but there could be enough to get you, like, canceled in the public opinion, and you're giving that person shut up money so they could stop talking about it. And I would have to go on a big deep dive to find out what happened with these other women, but that was not the only woman. There was over the course of years there have been multiple, and I honestly forgot about them until someone tweeted about it, and I went back and I was like, yeah, I do remember that, because the other day I was watching The Husbands of Hollywood, and I saw Nelly, and I was like, wasn't there something about him and sexual assault? But, like, I thought it maybe was a different rapper, but no, it was him. He has multiple allegations at this point, and I don't think that there's anything that we could talk about without saying Nelly, the accused sexual offender.
I think that as far as Nelly is concerned, like, I'm of the mindset that he's probably
He's a sex pest.
He's probably a sex pest.
He's not probably, he is.
He's probably a sex pest.
You can't have multiple allegations. Multiple people alleging that you're touching them or raping them is not just a misunderstanding. One person.
I'm not chalking it up to a misunderstanding. I'm not saying it's a misunderstanding. In no way or shape or form am I saying it's a misunderstanding. What I'm saying is that, like, I think when it comes to Nelly, like,
because you know Nelly so intimately.
Yes, me and Nelly are boys. Like, we hang out, we play baccarat all the time. Like, we sniff brandy on the veranda. No, when it comes to Nelly, all I'm saying is that, like, the motherfucker, he's sketchy.
Yeah,
he's got some sketchiness. So I tread lightly when I big up any sort of accomplishment, because, like, like, he he's not an out and out. He's a sex pest. That's all I'll say.
Yes, thank you for finally admitting it.
He's just a fucking sex pest.
Thank you for admitting that.
He's a sex pest. And
I'm glad you came to that realization.
I would like to believe, I would hope to believe that whatever has happened going on with him, that he has
not
moved on and grown from that.
He's moved on, yeah, because he hasn't had to go to jail. And he has not...
Well, he's moved on to Ashanti?
He's not... Yeah, well, I'm sure who else is going to be with him now that he has all these allegations.
But, like, are they still on it, or did he pay them off? If they paid him off and, like, they went away, then they're just there in his
allegations.
past.
But
is he having recurring? Like,
he did for several years. Who knows when another one's going to come out?
But is there
the last
recurring?
They were recurring. I don't know what you're trying to ask.
I'm asking if there is, like,
a more recent one.
Yes. What is the most recent one?
Doesn't matter when the most recent one was, but I will find it.
It does a little bit.
You need to have one that happened yesterday for him to be a sex pest. Allegedly, it doesn't matter if it was.
Relax. What I'm saying
2 years ago, it needs to be yesterday.
What I'm saying is that, there can be some level of, like, growth and atonement and reform from, you know, like, past mistakes. Sure.
But the one that he allegedly raped on tour was in 2017. This latest news article about that was 2020.
Was the allegation 2020?
No, that on Saturday, rapper Nelly was arrested after a woman claimed he raped her on his tour bus. So that was October 26, 2020. And this is from Essence.
Okay, well.
So do you need, what is the time that you need for someone to be accused before it all goes away? Does it need to be 5 years, 10 years? I'm curious.
5 years for me. All right, fine.
Do you want to put your cape on for him anymore, or is that okay? Any other? You also want to write a letter for Danny Matterson?
I don't.
He needs to know.
All right.
Apparently.
Okay.
If we're caping for sexual assaulters, why not?
I'm not caping for sexual assaulters. All right, and that is not the narrative.
Are you sure?
That's going to be put on this podcast. No. Okay.
People heard what you said.
Nobody heard what
they heard you. They've been listening and watching.
I can edit this fucking.
Not
podcast.
The live.
I can. No. Oh.
People could watch it. Who knows? People will watch it.
Who's going to go back and listen to it?
You don't know. You never know what's going to come back and bite you in your ass.
But, yeah.
Anyway, so I'm very curious about this whole Nelly and Ashanti thing. I hope for her sake she's safe and got her shit together, and that hopefully he's no longer being a sex pest. He's gotten the help he needs.
That was my ultimate hope as well, is that, like, maybe he's not doing that anymore, you know, in the hopes that he's grown from that.
Okay. Well, someone who has not grown is Nicki Minaj's husband, Mr. Petty. Kenneth Petty, to be exact. So at the VMAs, he and his goon squad were talking some shit about Cardi B. I think said they had allegedly been, like, stalking her page, saying they were going to, like, harm her. And then, well, play the beautiful bean footage.
Did you?
I sure did.
Oh, you just sent it to me. All right. Wasn't necessarily set up for this. Give me a second. You want to actually play this?
I want people to hear what they were saying.
All right.
Go to the beginning.
Give me a sec.
So he and his friends... Is your sound on?
I have to rewind. And, yeah, actually, the sound is on.
Is it this one? This button here?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's the fourth channel.
Is it this one?
No, it's this one.
Is it too high up?
No, that should be fine.
We outside. Somebody tell Offset, because Offset DM me. He DM me.
Come on, man.
Nigga DM Cuckoo.
He off the set. That whole gang can suck a dick.
Nigga, he off the set. Don't make us put you off the set, nigga.
What the fuck is you talking about? Up north, I had you scared, boy.
Yeah, off the
Up north,
set.
I had you scared, boy. A lot of y'all niggas. Me too. A niggas, man. Up top, y'all wasn't
Y'all
like
niggas
that,
checking in? At all.
Keep believing in these niggas.
Legendary.
Keep believing in these pussy ass
Y'all
niggas.
niggas checking in?
This is pussy, man.
Wow.
Wow. Let's
Wow.
go, man.
Niggas
go,
been
man.
right here for man long, no.
They say we dumb. We all dumb.
Yeah, super.
Fuck it.
We off this, man.
So after watching Top Boy, I realized that like dumb niggas exist in all cultures.
Yes, in every language.
In every language, in every culture, in every country.
Every color, every religion, it's everywhere.
Now, I'm not gonna fucking dig myself out of the hole that apparently I built for myself in that last Nelly segment. But I do want to point out that, like, Mr. Petty should be worried about his own fucking history and about his own life and shit like that. He's commenting on what, Offset cheating and shit.
That's something else.
Or
but
he's just like he's sticking up for his wife because his wife is beefing with Cardi B, and Offset is Cardi B's husband, and like he's speaking up, but like didn't he actually went to jail though? He went to like jail.
He's a registered
sex
offender who
offender
has been gotten in trouble several times for not registering.
So I would probably keep a low profile. Like, this is somebody who has Nicki Minaj money and who is getting complacent and is like, I can pop off at anybody, including Offset. Mind you, Offset lost his uncle, brother, Takeoff.
That's Quavo. Quavo and
Quavo
Takeoff were cousins.
No,
or
Quavo and Takeoff were uncle and nephew.
Yeah, Quavo was Takeoff's uncle. Offset is Quavo's best friend, and then was Offset's best friend. They grew up together. They were like childhood.
Oh, so they're
cousins.
not related.
No, they're not related.
Okay.
They just known each other since like sixth grade.
They
so at this point, they're play cousins.
Yeah,
who've known each other. Grown
you have
up
to
with
be
each
an
other.
evil ass nigga to fucking bother somebody while they're still. I'm gonna assume that he's grieving.
I'm sure, of course, he's still grieving. He's just lost his bandmate and friend and brother in recent months for a senseless issue, and they were beefing at the time. So of course,
over senselessness. So like So I don't truck with any of this. Like any of this bullshit. This posturing. This male
allegedly.
Posturing.
Petty has an arrest warrant.
I'm gonna call him Petty Cap.
He allegedly has an arrest warrant issued in Germany after an alleged assault victim charged him. He was charged. Anyway.
See, that is behavior of, like, motherfucker who, like, got charged, went to fucking jail, never learned his fucking lesson, and keeps fucking up.
Because someone has not gotten charged and gone to jail doesn't mean they will not continue to fuck up. Probably will fuck up even more because they've never been able to be held accountable. He's not being held accountable because everyone's caping for him and he's married to Nicki Minaj and he has her money and her okay for his behavior. But neither he and Nelly are no different. Either way, Cardi B and Nicki Minaj both at the VMAs. There was some sort of alleged beef from Nicki Minaj's end because it's always her. She's always trolling people and being fucking obnoxious. And Petty decided to jump up, and he's like a baby and a bitch because he knew Offset was not in New York. He knew he was in Atlanta because Offset has been like videoing and doing shit with Wyatt Snap, which I'll come to. Not Wyatt Snack. Y Snap, the Twitcher. Kai. I always want to call him Y. Because why does he act like that? But he was doing shit with Kai. So I'm like, you
terrible.
50-year-old,
terrible joke.
Nearly 50-year-old men.
Because why does he act like that?
These 50 middle-aged men.
Yeah, they're grown men.
Grown-ass men who probably need to take a little mini aspirin every day and soak their bodies in Epsom salt when they come in, are trying to play big and bad. And then the dude who's talking about you trying to DM Coco. He was backtracking after all this happened because Offset was like, no one cares about you. Offset was on a private jet flying every which way, talking about these niggas broke. I'm on a private jet. not even really addressing anything. Because, like, why are you in people's business? Like, why are you in women's business? If your wife is beefing with this other woman for stupid issues, leave that to be. Now, not to say I don't want my husband to cape for me, and if somebody has an issue with me, then they have an issue with you, and you gonna be like, whatever, fuck that bitch. Sure, your spouse should be your ride or die. Well, rider.
Yeah.
Rider, stay on.
Even you.
Until, like...
Ride the bus.
Unless there's a breakdown and there's an accident.
Look, if it's a mega bus and it goes on the side of the road.
Because, like, why do I have to die? I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah,
like, why can't it be ride and, like, figure out how to glow up? Like, I don't want to die.
I wouldn't even sign off on ride or coma.
No! Ride or figure out what therapy we need to do to get whatever bullshit is going on with us that's causing us to want to die.
If you ain't ride or live, then...
Yes!
Then
ride or live!
Ride or live.
That's what... Ride or live. Now,
you know what? That's the name of this episode. Ride or live.
Like, that means you could cape for your wife. You could have her back. But if she's, like, now, not to say he should be out there, like, telling the news, oh, she needs to leave Cardi B alone. But, like, if you see your wife causing issues, you need to tell her at home, like, ma'am, get your shit together, because nobody is worried about you. You need to worry about your fucking bars, because they've been lacking. And your albums have been boring. Maybe you need to work on your lyrics. Call Safari back in here and have him help you out.
I mean...
Because you sounded amazing when he was ghostwriting for you. You had hit after hit. Now it's the same fucking song. How many times you have a pink album?
Reeves, I don't fuck with horses. If you don't, first off, that is the oldest verse.
Because nobody would know. We
know who Christopher Reeves is.
But you think that people who were born in 2001 even know?
Hell,
maybe?
Do you even think the Barbs know? I don't even think the Barbs have watched those old Superman movies. Are you kidding me?
Like, maybe they might have
Superman
Googled
is
it.
Henry Cavill. Big butt-chinned ass nigga. Like, that's our Superman, not fucking...
Like, maybe they might know George Clooney or who was the
You mean George Batman?
Yeah, who was Batman that was in the most recent Flash?
Because he was in Tim Burton's Batman.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh no.
Ah!
Wait.
What's his name?
Let's get nuts. Oh shit. See, we're washed.
No, what's his name? Batman actors. Not Christian Bale. Is it Christian Bale or Michael Keaton? That's who I was thinking of.
Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Because he was also Birdman.
Yes, he was. Maybe them, but I mean, nobody fucking knows who Michael Keaton is. Either way, you need to worry about your child. Worry about your husband not being able to pick your child up from school because he can't be 12 feet or whatever from near a school building.
You know he does.
Probably, of course he does. But like, the Offset reached out to dude and was like, y'all want to be stalking my wife? You want to be calling her out and all this shit online? Send me your location, because he has a PG or PJ. He will get on that.
A PNG?
He has a PNG.
Peanut butter and jelly.
He will get on that private jet and be...
a PJ. First off, we're all fucked up. A PNG is what you said.
Yeah.
I said peanut butter and jelly.
And it was not right.
Nothing was right. Neither of us were
way.
Right. We were both wrong.
We were wrong the same way Petty was wrong.
Yeah.
And perhaps he should change his name so he can stop being so petty and grow up.
Petty is P&J. He's petty and jealous.
He is petty and jealous. But speaking of Offset, now he has been having a weekend.
Okay. So you could bring the story up, but I did some digging. And it might not even be a thing.
Okay, good. Well, I hope so. Offset, while all this was happening, he was with Kai.
That's a K.
Cenat. Yes, he was with Kai Cenat. They were doing a 24-hour live stream at Kai's house.
Which, by the way, no offense, but I would never want to be in a room for 24 hours with
those fucking people?
A bunch of niggas.
3 people maybe. 3 people max. Because 24 hours, like, someone's going to be annoying me. You're talking too loud. You're chewing too loud. You're snoring too loud. I'm tired at this point. Are you going to be watching me sleep? Because if not, if I can't take a nap, I'm going to be real irritable.
Yes, I've had all of those thoughts. But, like, in a room full of people, like, at first, like, motherfuckers, like, men have odors, you know what I mean? Like, are motherfuckers dipping off
to take a shower?
And shit?
So.
Like,
wash your balls.
These niggas are young. They are using Old Spice. Like, they are not...
They're spraying it on.
Yeah, they are not, like, fucking washing their balls, washing their ass. They're not doing the necessary
itchy
maintenance.
asses.
Yeah, ew. Yeah.
Well, speaking of itchy asses, I think that Offset probably has a little...
And that's the trick to segues. All you have to do is just say, speaking of, and it has nothing to do with the thing that you're talking about.
I think that Offset might have a little itch in his bum because people are speculating online. After there was a clip of a part of the live stream where Offset and Kai are talking with a room full of people. There's a woman's voice we hear off to the side. We don't see her. But Offset is going back and forth, and like when you hear the woman talking, he's like going over in that area, coming back, and then he goes to the bathroom, but it's like a 40-minute bathroom break. And then when he comes out of the bathroom, all the guys, because they're idiots and like 5 years old, are like, what? And he's like, nah, guys, I told you, I was going to the bathroom. I had to take a bathroom break. And people are speculating that he was cheating on Cardi B.
Turns out, it's likely that he was just talking to a stylist / brand manager. Apparently, like, somebody recognized her voice.
Like, he can't be fucking his style manager? Does she not like dick? Is she like, what does that mean? She can still be fucking him? Yeah, but, I mean... You don't think that woman could still be fucking Offset with Cardi not there? That's the prime real estate. That is her boss, so that means she could be alone with him and nobody's going to say anything. There's not going to be... Come on!
You've been watching too many Tushy videos.
Remember that time?
Yes, I do remember the time when you...
Early episodes, go back to
Go back and watch. Go back and listen, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that it's possible that this is just a nothing murder.
Maybe.
Like, it is potentially just a motherfucker doing business.
Maybe.
And going away to do business.
I hope
on
so.
On a 24-hour fucking live-ass pod.
I hope so. Because Cardi B will beat that woman up.
Okay.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on.
Russell Brand.
Now, he is a sex pest.
So, he has been... Several allegations have come out.
He seems like a suspect.
And these are from... like at the height of his fame, like about, I think one of them, the last one was maybe 2017, I think. Mm-hmm. But after like it came out, he actually put a video out the day before the story came out saying people are like having these allegations are not true, whatever, which tells me you did exactly what people said you did. Because why would I, an innocent person, come out on a video to say, this person said I'm going to do something, I didn't do it. Now, I think that if you have reason, like if you said this person said they're going to blackmail me and put my business out or say that I did something that I didn't do and I'm telling you before they do it, then okay. But you just trying to get on, what is it called, ride the wave or start the wave before it goes off, that's a little sketch to me. And then... after that came out, all the Twitter sleuths came out and started finding articles where people were talking about even years ago that he was being a sex pest even as early as 2015. So honestly, I'm not surprised. Like, if you don't know anything about Russell Brand, he was definitely a very like rock star comedian. Definitely had like a Rolling Stone vibe. He's British. Like, he was very, like, promiscuous and out there, which he has copped to saying that. And that's what he's trying to say. Like, he was promiscuous during his heyday, but all the sex was consensual. I don't necessarily believe you. But in recent years, if you haven't really seen him around, because he definitely has gone more like, not far right, as in Joe Rogan, but like anti-government, anti-capitalism. You need to learn to be mindful. But he still is like pushing a narrative for the same bros. And he's definitely like, I would say far right adjacent, but not so much where people could be like, oh yeah, he's a MAGA person.
More like libertarian.
Yeah, like he's British, so you know he has that going for him, where people think, oh,
whatever
it's
the
British
British
folks.
equivalent of libertarianism.
Yeah,
is.
so it's like I definitely feel like now when you see people are saying
Crown-tarian. I don't know.
People are trying to say, oh, this is attacking him because he's anti-establishment, blah, blah, blah. And someone had tweeted a few years ago that this was a tweet that came up during my search of the story, is they were talking about how his kind of change was to the far right. And this even came out a few years ago. They were saying that this whole change to like being this like guru type person was so that when allegations came out against him, he would be able to say it was like a witch hunt, which they always do. But honestly, I'm never surprised at this point. I'm never surprised when I find out that someone is being terrible.
Yeah, Russell Brand always struck me as a sex pest.
Yeah.
Like
Remember when he married Katy Perry?
I do.
They were married for 14 months.
Yeah. Do you remember Brand X? His fucking show.
Oh yeah. Wait, what is that? I remember it, but I don't remember watching it. What was it?
It was on FX. Like it was just like,
was it
like remember that stint in the 2000s where every stand-up comedian and a mom had the same formulaic fucking comedy show,
yeah,
which was aping the Chappelle Show. It was basically like they do stand up for a little bit, they have some sketches and whatever, and then like that's basically it. Like, yeah, it was Brand X. And then for like 7 years, it was the Louis C.K. Version of that, which is like, I'm a fictional comedian.
But a real life rapist.
By a... Okay, yeah, well, that too. Anyhow, I think... Okay, so I'm going to pitch this right now. I think this should just be a news episode. And then we just go in for the close.
We still have 20 minutes left.
No, I know.
We have
less than 20 minutes left.
Okay, we have to do our little other sections.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying we don't do any of those things.
You don't want to do any of our check-ins?
We've gone so long on the news stuff. I think that this should just be a news episode. Because otherwise we'll be here for another hour.
We won't.
Yeah.
What if we do it real quick?
We can do all those things in the next 16 minutes. Realistically.
Let's see how much okay. Do you want to talk about this?
No.
You don't, but it's funny.
All right, yeah, let's go for it. All right, let's go. All right.
So we are done with the sex pest. Well, I don't know about this guy. I don't know if he has been a sex pest in the past. I don't think so. I think he's just been problematic. But Columbus Short, an actor you have not heard.
Where is he from? I didn't even realize he was an actor.
Stomp the Yard. He had a lot of good. He was doing his thing.
Boots? He said Petty Short.
No, Columbus Short.
Who did you call him Petty Short?
I did not.
You did just say Petty Short.
Did I say Petty Short?
Yeah.
I didn't mean to.
Because it does say Petty Boots right there.
Oh, maybe I didn't mean to say that. Columbus Short.
All right.
From Scandal and Stomp the Yard fame. He was in a bunch of other things I don't remember. But if you do remember him, he left Scandal, I want to say after was the second season. But there was a issue between him and Shonda, we know, because he got killed off. And Shonda does not kill off characters unless, like, she's like, oh, you're done. Because usually she'll recycle them and bring them back in some capacity. So he was doing a...
Did she kill off Isaiah Washington?
No, but I think that... She didn't, but you know what?
No.
Why not? When Isaiah Washington...
And that's why we can't do the other segments.
Isaiah Washington, I think that when everything initially happened,
He said no.
he was apologetic, and then other shit came out, and then there was a long span of time where he was just like radio silence. So I think that like initially she just was like, all right, you're out. Maybe you'll learn and grow from this. But he didn't. He's turned into a super mega supporter, and it's terrible. Columbus Short, she said, you know what? By that time, she learned. I'm not even gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. You're done. You're a weirdo. I can't take it. It's too much for the scandal, and we need the scandal to be on the TV, not in people's personal lives. So, Columbus Short was being interviewed. Why? I don't know, because who knows this? No one. He doesn't do anything.
Yeah, isn't he a scab now? If he's being interviewed?
Yeah, but it wasn't for a
He's not promoting anything.
It was for Moguls in the Making podcast.
Okay.
But
yeah, audio sphere. That's fine.
But the thing is, I don't know why they haven't. Well, listen, they have almost the same amount of followers as us. We should start getting people on. Look at the people they got on here. I don't know these. I don't know who these people are.
Terrible.
But I mean, Columbus Short is the main one. Okay, so maybe we should start. We need to big ourselves up, because if folks like this can get Columbus Short, who knows? Either way, he was on this Moguls in the Making podcast. Shout out to y'all. Good for you for getting a D-list celebrity. I'm glad for y'all, and I hope you have much success in your podcast. And also success for this dope ass, not dope as in like I loved what Chris Columbus Short was saying, but like this is getting people to your show. And next week they might have 10,000 followers. Because he decided to talk about Denzel Washington and how he basically kept asking Denzel for help. And he said that Denzel Washington kept calling him a little nigga. So he got back at him by naming his son Denzel, because now Denzel is his little nigga. I don't see how that tracks.
That's like when 50 Cent called his dog Oprah. And remember to get back at her?
God,
Do you remember that?
No, I didn't remember that.
Yeah, like he named his
Was that in the
pet,
early aughts?
Yeah, he named his pet dog Oprah.
That's definitely something he would do.
His female dog Oprah.
That's 100% something he would do. He's
like,
such a fucking troll.
That's my bitch.
But I want to know, in this interview, he also said he's never spent $1 on cocaine, and I believe him. People probably gave it to you for free. All of the drugs for free. A little taste.
That's how I
that
get
you
them.
can
Hey.
So that you can promote them to your friends. Because there's no way that you're telling me that you were sober and like dealing with life without having any other, not being inebriated or intoxicated or
yeah, he
something.
doesn't look straight edge.
And it's sad because I thought, to me, like when I remember first seeing Columbus Short come out on the scene, I was like, wow, another black actor, super excited for him to see what he does. He got on Scandal, and I thought that he actually was a very good actor, and I would have loved to see what he could have done, but whatever was going on with him, whether it was drugs, mental health, he just kind of squandered it, and it's sad to see that, and it's sad that he, to me, reminds me of, he's being used as a sideshow with these interviews, because people know that he's going to say something ridiculous, similar to Orlando Brown. People book them on shows not because they're interested in hearing what they have to say, they want to make connection, they want to talk to them. It's because they want to make fun of them, and they know that the clips are going to go viral and they're going to get people on their show. And I guess it's a good marketing technique if you don't care about those type of things. But that's sad. That just, like, look how far he's fallen. So that is our pop culture.
I don't know how far that is of a fall.
From nowhere to nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
he was somewhere.
It's an inch.
He was like at a...
It's a 1-story building.
He was like at a 3.
Was he...
What's the 4?
I'm sorry. Was he top 5 actors on Grey's Anatomy or Scandal, whatever the fuck
I
he
would
was?
say, honestly, on Scandal, When he was on that show, I definitely think people, it was like, of course, Kerry Washington, number one. Columbus Short, I would have said pegged for 2 or 3 because people loved his character.
For 2 or 3?
I would say people
He would have had to been the number one supporting character.
No, not number one. Not in like in what they were in their roles. I mean, like in what people really loved his character, even though it was like you know a supporting.
I'm talking
character.
about his
he was supporting, but people really liked him.
Yeah. So yes, you're absolutely right. Like you could be a popular supporting character, but that you can harness that support for a larger role on the show. Was that ever the case?
If he had not, because he was only on the show, I think 2 seasons before all that shit went down.
And how long did Scandal go on?
Scandal was like 8 seasons. Hold on.
Okay, so he was only on for
because he literally got off as long
the thing.
Oh,
all right, we gotta wrap this up. We got.
Sir, it's fine.
No, it's not.
It is. We have literally 9 minutes before we get off. We can finish what we were saying and move on to our mental check-in.
Odie, we're not going into a mental check-in and
I'm doing it.
A petty thing and
I'm doing
a happy thing.
I'm gonna do it.
It's literally gonna be a sentence for each.
We don't have to do the petty thing because I have something longer to say for that, but we can do the happy thing.
Will it be a sentence for each?
Yes. I
got a feeling that it's not gonna. 8 minutes. Go.
Okay. Click the button for the mental health section. Each week, we like to check in with each other because we want to know how you're doing.
I'm doing all right. Depression, manic depression, it's all what it is.
Do our question.
Question. Would being famous make you happier? Yes, it would. You.
If I could be famous without people knowing who I was. I want to be famous money-wise, not face-wise.
There you go. How are you doing?
I've been doing okay.
Great. Bring it. What? We right here. What's going on with you? What's the problems?
Alexa, stop.
Alexa, stop.
I'm pissed off because allegedly my company is going to be taking away some refreshments in the new year.
I'm pissed off because my work computer is shit, essentially. Like, I get the luxury of working from home over the weekends. One of the aspects that's crucial to me working from home fucked up. The software fucked up. And now I'm going into this week with the potential of me not being able to work from home. That sucks. Baby merchant, Tatsaurus, what's making you happy? Doing this podcast with you made me happy. We didn't get to go see Cassandra. Fine.
That's what pissed me off this week.
It's fine. But it happened. Hanging out with Sam. That was fun. I didn't give you a fucking virus on your iPhone, so chill. And just a chill fucking week. You.
Well, first of all,
new hair, new gal. Look at that. New hair, new gal. Yes. What's next?
And then also,
new gal. Yes. What's up?
And also during this podcast with you.
Yes.
Getting to spend time with Sam.
Mm-hmm.
I won. Well, first of all, I put on a mixer with the affinity groups. It went really well. Mm-hmm. And I won a raffle. For Thursday, I get to go to a dinner date at a jazz nightclub.
Fantastic. That's great to hear. Anything else?
Did I say do this podcast with you?
Yes, you did. Thank you for watching the podcast. Thank you for listening to the podcast. This is the Black and Snerdy podcast. We
have 5 minutes left.
But no. Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like to contact the podcast, you can reach us via email
at blackandsnerdypodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Black and Snerdy Podcast, as well as on Twitter at Black and Snerdy. You can find me, Maurice, on all social media under the handle Licorish is Legit. That's LICORISH is legit.
And you can find me on Instagram. It's that's OD THATSOD.E, and on Twitter, THATSOD_E. And don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to us. Tune in next time to the Black and Snerdy Podcast, where nerds of a feather flock together.
Remember?
Bye.
Boy.
Not yet.
No, this is keeping it. We're keeping this in. Don't forget to take your meds and your subs and drink water. Bye.
Bye.
I actually want to keep that.